Originally, I was going to make individual videos on all three of these anime, till it clicked in my mind that I'd rather put my energy into some larger video with actual quality anime. Bad anime has always existed since its inception. For every Astro Boy, there is a Jetter Mars. For every Akira, there's a Dark Cat. And for every Bobo, God, I love that show, there's an arcade gamer Fubuki. Check out my merch in the description below and enjoy the video. What's Arcade Gamer Fubuki? Created by the same guy who made Sergeant Frog, Arcade Gamer Fubuki is a 4-episode OVA about a girl who's really good at old school video games and has to stop an evil organization named the DOESNT Group from winning the gaming tournament and taking over the world or whatever. If you know me, you know that I'm not the biggest fan of I don't know anyone who isn't a mentally corrupted gooner. What makes Arcade Gamer Fubuki as bad as it is that the fan service is aggressively egregious, and oh yeah, did I mention she's a middle schooler who has to use her special quote-unquote passion panties to essentially help her get good at games she's playing in the tournament, which is first off weird, and second thing, that's cheating. I don't know about this one. It's not even an ironic, enjoyable watch. It's just a rough experience. There are 3 things that I actually liked in this anime. First, I like the references to different 80s and 90s arcade games because whenever I realize them, the little neurons in my tiny brain go active. Second, I thought both the English and the Japanese dub were pretty good. The English dub cast has some hitters in there. Veronica Taylor does the voice of Fubuki, but she's also known as the voice of Ash from Pokemon.
Be careful of the DOESNT Group? Huh? What the heck is the DOESNT Group? And what does he mean, be careful, anyway? Fubuki! Oh, Hana-chan.
And Lisa Ortiz, who voices Amy from Sonic X, is also in here.
Chizuru Giamanti, Osaka champion, is just a front. My real identity is one of the 4 lords of the DOESNT Group, Shooter Chizuru.
Hi, Amy. What's wrong?
All right, where are you hiding, Sonic? You better come out now!
And third, for early digital anime, the style and animation holds up pretty well. I appreciate how bouncy and lively the characters are. It adds on to the comedy that I desperately wish was good and actually comedy, because this anime isn't funny, like, at all. Look, Arcade Gamer Fubuki really doesn't have much going for it. I really don't like the characters. All the adults in the anime are weird and creepy, and the plot isn't interesting enough to keep me engaged. Thankfully, it's only 2 hours, so if you want to sign up purposefully on a registered sex offenders list, it's not too long, and trust me, those 2 hours will feel like 200 years. Don't watch Arcade Gamer Fubuki. I didn't watch much of The Simpsons growing up. I caught episodes here and there, but I was way more of a Family Guy kind of kid. But I understand their importance in television and animation history. Dysfunctional families have existed on TV since its early days, like I Love Lucy and All in the Family, but mixing animation, a medium at the time that was primarily believed to be made for children, was revolutionary. And I actually rewatched some of those older seasons that video essayists always tell you to watch, and honestly, they're not wrong. These episodes hold up even by today's standards. But since The Simpsons, Western TV has tried its best to replicate its formula to varying degrees of success. But what about anime? Does a dysfunctional family in the world of anime exist, you must be thinking? Well, the Daichi family are no Simpsons, and they're definitely not the Griffins, but the Daichis are definitely the Daichis. The mean and gross Seiko Daichi wants a divorce from her timid and weak husband Mamoru Daichi. Son Dai and daughter Nozomi are asked to choose who they want to live with, but before the kids can learn how they're getting 2 Christmases, they are summoned at random by the Galactic Federation to take down alien threats from space. Despite feeling reluctant, they are forced to work together to destroy these monsters as they try to balance a failing marriage. Dai's hyperactivity, Nozomi's eldest daughter syndrome, and most of all, each other. Earth's Defense Family, or the Family Defensive Alliance, is a bad anime in a way that it has so much potential with its concepts, themes, and characters, but failed to deliver on almost all of them. We don't see many anime focusing on divorce now that I think of it, and none of them that really come to mind. We also don't see many anime dealing with dysfunctional families, but let me tell you this, Earth's Defense Family isn't an underrated anime, it isn't even a good one. Other than failing to follow through on its nuances, Earth's Defense Family is too busy being mean-spirited and nasty, thriving off the most unlikable cast of characters I've seen this side of Tubi's free anime. Dai, who's supposed to be our main character, is an annoying pervert. It's never funny the way how he harasses women. The father, Mamoru, is a weakling who can't stand up for himself. The daughter's a depressed doormat who does all the repetitive labor in the house, and the worst of them all has to be the mother, a terrible, rude, selfish, sneaky, hypocritical woman who treats everyone in her family appallingly. We watch as Seiko repeatedly treats her daughter terribly, forcing her to do all the cooking and cleaning for the rest of the family.
I think that I want to live with Dad.
You can't do that, Nozomi.
Why not?
The cooking and all the cleaning, I need you to do them for me.
Worse off, we see as she goes out of her way to have a potential affair. We don't actually see her cheat, but she blows off her family more than once to spend time with her special work colleague.
I really feel bad about involving the whole family in all of this. Seiko? Are you having an affair?
Seiko's endless screaming and judgment, as well as Dai's sexual harassment of almost nearly every woman in this series, including his own mother, are easily the worst two things about this show. That sucks because, minus the characters and poorly executed plot and themes, the animation and voice acting is solid.
A long time ago, back when I was around your age, I found an abandoned puppy. He was so adorable. Of course, my mother wouldn't let me keep him, but I hid him away from her. He was my super special secret.
Now the multilingual auto.
Like, the animation in the first episode is so damn good, it tricked me into thinking on a rewatch that this show was going to actually be a good show, and aw shucks, look at that, I hate everyone in this anime, and I now want to put my energy into the next anime right now. Also, the family gets followed around by this teal-haired alien girl. I really didn't care about her at all. I'm sorry. Okay, next anime.
You understand my language? Apparently our languages are the same. So is your name really Khan too? Well, I suppose we can talk about that on the ship.
Okay, so Outlanders actually has some historical relevance, and despite it not being particularly good, I found it entertaining. It was an early OVA that didn't do well in Japan, and despite its failure there, it was very popular and highly regarded by early otaku here in the West, especially in a time when anime was still a niche subculture. After watching it 3 times, I could see why. It hits all the check boxes for early anime and has elements that still do well even today. Cute girls, aliens, space, violence, furries, and oh yeah, cute naked girls and sex jokes. Tons of sex jokes. To be honest, that's probably the reason why this anime was so popular back in the day with weebs. Seeing a naked woman in the 80s must have been something harder to do, let alone an animated naked woman. But what do I know? I wasn't there. I'm only 73 years old. When I say this anime was popular, I wasn't exaggerating. It even got its own manga release to Western audiences by Dark Horse, and I must say, that's truly an accomplishment for its time. Anime during the 80s barely got licensed in the West. The few that did were the ones that had potential to sell toys and figures, so a manga that wasn't primarily pandering to the overarching toy culture of the time getting licensed was rare. The Outlanders anime has a pretty basic plot. Princess Calm kidnaps a photographer named Tetsuya.
I'm Calm. Pleased to meet you. What's your name?
Gum? You understand my language?
Apparently our languages are the same. So is your name really Calm too? Well, I suppose we can talk about that on the ship.
To marry him as a form of rebellion against her father's wishes. Her defiant act of marriage to this mid-man causes a stir in her galactic empire. There are chase sequences, sexy catgirls, and full-on furries. Minus the bad 80s dub and the subsequent second and more boring Central Park Media dub that actually features the voice of Goku.
Don't touch me! Fine! Maybe she is some kind of princess or whatever, but what the hell are you going to do with me? Hey, it's me, Goku! Is that all you've got, fat?
In it, Outlanders suffers from its hammy lines, repetitive sex jokes, and bloated cast of characters that are never fully fleshed out or fully introduced, yet the audience is somehow supposed to know and tell who these people are in the 49-minute runtime. Additionally, it also relies heavily on sex appeal, making it an early fanservice scooterbait anime, and you know what, despite me not liking fanservice a good chunk of the time, I actually liked this show. Yeah, the animation is something special, its tone clashes with itself. Then the anime comes off as a Zack Snyder Urusei Yatsura with a less likable cast of characters and a dollar store Rumiko Takahashi art style, but I actually liked Outlanders for the same reasons why I think it doesn't work. It's aged like milk, but is overall harmless. I wish I could give more of an anime deep dive into this, but I really don't have much to say about it, so all I'll say is this. Outlanders is a bad 80s anime. It's entertaining and perfect for a night in with friends. Whether you wanted to watch its early English dub for a good laugh or wanted to see early furry art, it's a fun watch. So that was 3 bad anime, but as my 4th ex-husband said to me, Shakestar, your biggest flaw is that you're too optimistic. And instead of ending this video on a downer note, or a dour note, however you say that word, let's just talk about an anime that I thought was good and that I found myself enjoying on a second watch. Shinesman is a Super Sentai parody that initially I wasn't the biggest fan of, but before I get into the next anime I'm about to talk about, I thought I'd give a little bit of context about exactly what Super Sentai is. Thankfully, I have my friend Bernard here to fill us in. Bernard, take it away.
It's me, B, the Pop Culture Ranger, and let's talk Super Sentai. First of all, Super Sentai, like Kaiju and Metal Heroes, is a subgenre of tokusatsu, which translates to special filming and refers to live-action television or film programs that utilize practical special effects. It also mostly refers to sci-fi and fantasy, and Sentai is a World War II term meaning squadron. And the Super in Sentai didn't get introduced officially until 1980 with Battle Fever J, but I'll talk about that in a second. The first Sentai series was in 1975 with Himitsu Sentai Goranger, made by Shotaro Ishinomori, produced by Toei and Bandai, which introduced the concept of colorful costume heroes facing evil. In 1977, the second Sentai series, Jacker Dengakatai, introduced abilities of the heroes originating from a technological source, hence the iconic changer or henshin device. Then by 1978, Toei partnered with Marvel to create a Spider-Man series, and this introduced the iconic concept of heroes piloting mechs to fight giant monsters. By 1980, Battle Fever J, the third Sentai series but first Sentai series to be referred to as Super Sentai, would go on to utilize this concept that was introduced in Spider-Man, and this would continue to be a trope in all Super Sentai series to come. And although Battle Fever J was co-developed by Marvel, the Sentai series after this would solely be produced by Toei. And of course this served the basis for its Western counterpart, the Power Rangers. And in 1994, Himitsu Sentai Go Ranger and Jacker Denge Kitai would be officially recognized as part of Super Sentai. Sentai would continue to go on with countless series, even still continuing to this day. The latest and 49th installment in the Sentai series, Gozuja. And that is a brief history of Super Sentai from me, B, the Pop Culture Ranger.
Oh no, aliens are planning on taking over Earth, and it's up to what's basically the Power Ranger cops guys to stop them. They are the Shinesman. If you ask me to remember any of the blank slate one-dimensional characters' names, I'd say you're asking for a little bit too much. There's red, gray, salmon pink, moss green, and
Sepia!
I mean, an interesting color lineup. By day, the team disguises themselves as simple businessmen and women that work for the right trade company. But whenever there's danger, they become the Special Duty Combat Unit Shinesman. The Red Ranger, our protagonist, is their newest member, and he has a younger brother who's a huge fan of Super Sentai, or in this universe, they're called the Great Men. Come on, couldn't think of a better name than that? Shinesman is a 2-episode comedy directed by Sadamitsu, and right off the bat I can tell you that this anime is sort of better on my second viewing than when I watched it my first time, because honestly I found myself actually enjoying this anime a lot in comparison to the first time I viewed it. I feel like the words satire and parody get used a lot interchangeably by people when they don't need to be. I blame it on a lack of media literacy, but I have to compliment Shinesman on both parodying Sentai and satirizing the fandom of these kind of shows.
Hey kids, it's the Shinesman shower set, including a helmet-shaped bath bucket, business card-shaped bath soap, your very own ProSuit bath towel. Imagine the fun you'll have being a Shinesman in the shower.
Right off the bat, I need to tell you that Shinesman is pretty funny. It's not perfect, the animation is pretty bland, and it's not Shinya Sadamitsu at his best, but honestly, the writing is solid, and it's made even better that, and I can't believe that I'm saying this, the English dub is actually really good.
Business card cutter! Hoof beam! Tie clip bomb!
Guys, we are gonna have to do something about these lame weapons.
My favorite part of this show has to be the voice aliens. These aliens are trying to take over Earth but barely know how the planet functions.
What if she gets caught speeding or going down a one-way street? She doesn't even have her driver's license.
Tough words, Mr. Failed his learners 3 times in counting.
What did you say?
I love the prince of the voice aliens, and I love how obnoxious as hell his cousin is.
Are you stupid? I can't let a woman stay in my room.
Well, nice to see you too, cuz. Prince of Charm as usual. No wonder you've never had a girlfriend.
I don't need one!
I need to emphasize, if you're going to watch Shinesman, watch the English dub. I know it's blasphemy, but genuinely the performances are great and the comedy is fantastic.
Look at those colors. Do you think if you were a superhero, you would choose colors that ugly? You know, she's got a point. They are pretty bad.
Shinesman is completely underrated, and I feel like I don't want to get too much into it or spoil anything, but if you do decide to watch Shinesman, it's a pretty great time. And speaking of time, that's all the time I got. I gotta be on my way. There's something else I gotta do on my...
Till next time.